Hello, everyone. This is Unbelievable Truth back again. Today, we bring you a breaking update on the catastrophic floods and natural disasters in China, a country that has become the center of global attention. Since the very beginning of 2025, a relentless chain of extreme weather events has unfolded. Raging flash floods, sudden landslides, weeks of torrential rain, and even devastating dam failures. Statistics reveal that this year's disasters have not only far surpassed those of previous years, but have also brought about catastrophes unlike anything ever recorded in the nation's history. So, what exactly is happening in China right now? Could it be that the global climate is changing beyond human control? Or is this a grave warning sign about the future we all must face? This is the very truth, that unbelievable truth, is determined to uncover for you. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the hottest updates we bring. And now, the question remains, what is China going through today? Let's find out together. Yunnan province, famous for its rugged mountains and breathtaking landscapes, is now struggling to recover from the devastating floods that struck between July 17th and July 20th, 2025. Days of relentless rainfall have caused rivers to overflow and turned once narrow mountain streams into violent torrents, sweeping through towns and villages with terrifying force. The hardest-hit areas include Jiaong, Wenshan, Qing, and Pu'er, where communities are facing severe destruction. According to reports from Echo and GDAX, more than 7,000 people have been evacuated to safety. Over 150 homes have been damaged, with at least 2 houses completely destroyed. At the same time, 200 roads and around 1,500 vehicles have been damaged or washed away, and more than 500 head of livestock have perished in the floodwaters. Meteorological data shows just how extreme this disaster has been. In some parts of Yunnan, rainfall within 24 hours reached 227.8 millimeters, the highest single-day total since 1958. This level is far above the historical seasonal average and highlights the increasing unpredictability of China's climate. The aftermath is heartbreaking. Flash floods have swallowed entire villages, destroying homes, cars, and farming machinery. Crops that families depended on have been left buried in mud, while deep scars now cut across the land. What was once fertile soil and thriving communities has turned into fields of debris. These numbers are not just statistics. They represent the reality of thousands of lives suddenly upended. And as the camera captures the raging waters tearing through the province, one truth becomes clear. Nature's fury is both unstoppable and unforgiving. In Zhaodong City, one of the hardest-hit areas, torrential rains triggered massive landslides, blocking major transportation routes and isolating remote communities. Emergency response teams were delayed for hours, as dozens of road sections were reported flooded or destroyed, including provincial highways that connect small towns to vital commercial corridors. In Ludian town, the disaster struck with terrifying speed. Within minutes, low-lying neighborhoods were submerged after water levels surged suddenly overnight. More than 8,000 residents were forced to flee their homes, carrying only what they could in the darkness. Families crowded onto higher ground, watching helplessly as the flood swallowed their streets, homes, and shops. Further south in Wenshan Prefecture, the devastation was just as severe. Thousands of hectares of farmland, rice paddies, vegetable plots, and entire greenhouse complexes now lie underwater. According to local reports, over 15,000 acres of crops have been destroyed, many just weeks away from harvest. Farmers in Yansan and Funing counties described the same heartbreaking scene. Cattle swept away, chickens drowned, and years of hard work erased in just a few hours. Meanwhile, In Puer City, near the border with Laos, mountain rivers overflowed violently, unleashing a series of flash floods that tore through entire valleys. Several bridges were damaged or completely washed away, cutting off transportation to at least 12 villages. Rescue teams worked throughout the night, setting up makeshift crossings and delivering vital supplies using trucks and drones. The scale of the crisis is staggering. According to provincial water authorities, more than 20 red alerts have been issued across vulnerable regions, including Xishuangbanna, warning that flood risks remain dangerously high as upstream water levels continue to rise. Experts fear that with reservoirs already filled to capacity, even one more round of heavy rainfall could trigger further dam overflows or catastrophic breaches. This unfolding disaster is not just a test of infrastructure, it is a test of survival. For the people of Yunnan, every passing hour brings new uncertainty as they face the raw and unpredictable force of nature. Meanwhile, in Kuing, a city known for its dense population and mountainous terrain, the urban drainage system collapsed under record-breaking rainfall. Within just a few hours, bustling streets turned into raging rivers, with water levels rising up to chest height in many low-lying districts. Residents clung desperately to railings, vehicles, and traffic signs, fighting against the current to avoid being swept away. Vehicles of all kinds, cars, buses, and motorbikes, were submerged or piled up against barriers. More than 1,200 vehicles were severely damaged in just 3 days of heavy rain. Public transportation ground to a halt. Buses stopped running, and the subway system was forced to close after floodwaters poured into tunnels. Emergency rescue boats were deployed across over 40 residential neighborhoods, ferrying people to safety in the dead of night. The situation grew even worse as widespread power outages plunged entire districts into darkness. By July 20th, at least 15 major substations had been destroyed, leaving tens of thousands of households without electricity. In Zhaong and Wenshin, exhausted engineers worked through the night to restore power, while some communities remained completely cut off. Communications infrastructure also suffered a devastating blow. Floodwaters damaged fiber optic cables, disrupting service for more than 200,000 mobile users. In remote mountain regions, signals went completely dark, making it nearly impossible for authorities to coordinate with rescue teams. First responders reported that the loss of communication left several communities isolated for more than 24 hours before help could reach them. Meteorologists later confirmed that rainfall in Qing during this disaster was more than 350% above the long-term seasonal average, a shocking figure that stunned even experienced scientists. The city's infrastructure simply cannot withstand another event like this, one expert warned. In just a matter of days, Qing transformed from a vibrant urban center into a giant flood basin, where everyday life vanished, and survival became the only priority. However, a signal of hope has also emerged. Mobile networks in many critical areas have been partially restored, thanks to the deployment of more than 60 temporary mobile relay stations. This emergency solution allows rescue teams and residents to reconnect, while ensuring that critical warnings can be transmitted in time. Rescue and relief efforts are continuing around the clock. Over 10,000 people have already been evacuated from landslide-prone and flood-prone zones across the province. Emergency shelters have been set up in schools, community centers, and government buildings. Here, the Red Cross and disaster management agencies have distributed more than 50 tons of dry food, 200,000 liters of clean water, and thousands of medical supply kits to affected residents. At the same time, over 3,000 soldiers and civilian volunteers have been mobilized to clear debris, reopen vital transportation routes, and reinforce riverbanks with more than 400,000 sandbags and dozens of kilometers of steel barriers. Several major roads have now been temporarily reopened, allowing relief supplies to move faster. Yet experts warn that the situation remains extremely fragile. Soil moisture levels have reached 90% saturation, dramatically increasing the risk of large-scale landslides. Satellite data shows that more than 27 slopes in northeastern Yunnan are in a highly unstable condition, particularly in areas that have experienced seismic activity within the past 5 years. Some scientists believe that just one more heavy rainfall could cause these hillsides to collapse, triggering a new wave of disaster. In response to this threat, Yunnan provincial authorities have declared a Level 2 emergency, the second highest alert in China's flood control system. Residents in vulnerable areas have been urged to remain ready for evacuation, limit unnecessary travel, and strictly follow official directives. Preliminary reports indicate that the scale of damage has already surpassed many past disasters. More than 8,000 homes completely destroyed, 120 schools severely damaged, hundreds of kilometers of roads and railways paralyzed, and over 35,000 hectares of farmland submerged. Experts estimate that full recovery could take at least 6 months and require hundreds of millions of US dollars in central government assistance. What is clear is that, in the weeks and months ahead, communities across the province will have to rely on a united effort, locally, nationally, and even internationally, to overcome this dark and challenging chapter. Thank you for watching Unbelievable Truth, where we uncover the reality behind nature's most powerful and unpredictable moments. If you found this report valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps this channel alive, helping us continue to bring clear and timely updates. And remember to hit the notification bell so you never miss our next report. Please note, the figures presented here are based on preliminary estimates, and some footage has been used for illustration purposes and may not represent the exact events described. But beyond the numbers, beyond the devastation, we must also remember the human spirit. To the people of China, and to communities around the world facing nature's fury, we send our deepest hopes for strength, resilience, and unity. May courage and solidarity guide us through these dark days, and may every step forward be one toward rebuilding lives, homes, and hope. Stay informed, stay prepared, and above all, stay safe. We'll see you in the next report.